I would argue the next topic is kind of the section that happens before that big exit. It's about the road from about $5 million or euros in ARR to 40. Our next speaker wants to talk about that part, 5 to 40 million ARR, and how to build the financial backbone before it breaks you. Now, our speaker is an expert in all things finance for SaaS startups and scale-ups. And so here's your man in finance, Joost.
Yes, good. Well, welcome to everyone, I guess. I have to say I was a bit surprised when Daniel asked me, hey, do you want to do a session on SaaSiest? I guess they just ran out of CMOs and CPOs, so yeah, that's okay. I guess they all said no. So happy to be here. And indeed, the idea is just based on my experience. I just give my view, if you scale as a company, who you need and what you actually need to do. In terms of images, I got some feedback already from some colleagues. This is what happens when a CFO tries to make his slides a bit more sexy. So keep that in mind if you say, what the hell had just happened? So first of all, who do you need? Who do you need? It's basically, it's a team, of course. You need a good team. It's the heart of the company. I really believe in working with people, coaching them, challenging them. So I believe as soon as you hit the 5 million ARR, of course you need an accountant, right? Someone needs to do the books. Start early with legal counsel, it can be fractional, and also with a CFO to help you with fundraising. Think about just strategic decisions, like we heard earlier. It's really a pair. You're a duo with the CEO. So pretty small team. Then you go towards the 10 million ARR. You pass that, then I would really recommend. Okay, you need some more accounting and controlling, of course. And that depends on what type of CFO you have. You can have a CFO who is more external audit as a background. Then you need less strong accounting skills because the CFO can handle it. But if it's more like myself, I'm more FP&A, so think about planning, forecasting, then I would suggest do invest in a good accountant because I know nothing about accounting. If you make me book an invoice, it will be wrong, unless you use Yuki, of course, then it will be right. But yeah, that's a bit the challenge there. Main thing, I think, to invest in as of 10 million is data. Hire data team, hire the data analyst, start with RevOps, because it can really accelerate your growth in the coming growth stage that you have. Then as of 25 million ARR, it's basically bulking up, right? So you need to put some more accounting in there, some more controlling, so you have better control of the business. And then also, again, on the data. I'm a strong believer in building a good data team, a RevOps team, so you have a good view there. Then the next question is, of course, what do you need to do? And I want to run through 5 things that I believe are important that you need to do when you scale. And I think the first one is about automated billing and collection. Second, the fast closing that you have from an accounting point of view. Third, the rolling cash flow forecast, monthly reporting, and data-driven decisions. So let's dive in. First of all, lungs, oxygen, billing and collection. You need to have a good tool, you need to have a good setup on how you will actually invoice the MRR that you're generating. The important part here, as we heard yesterday also from Kyle, you need a thought-out pricing and packaging model. How will you price? Will you do it on seat-based, usage-based, hybrid, outcome, etc.? And you need a tool which actually allows you to do that. To not only do the billing, but also the collection. Because it's all very nice if you could say, hey, I hit 5 million ARR, but if it's not coming in, well, you have a huge problem, because you're not having the cash to grow further. Also there is, I really like to see my MRR moving, and I like to see what's new, what's the upsell, what's the contraction, what's the churn. I want to see the live movements. You don't want to be in a situation where it's really just waiting for the invoice run to go on the 25th of the month, because then you're just blind, so that's a terrible place to be in as a CFO. So really avoid the manual billing, avoid the manual collection. There are pretty good tools out there to do it. And if you think about flexibility in terms of pricing and packaging, think ahead and make sure that you're able to do that. Then the second one may sound a bit boring, but it's an important part. It's about the fast closing process. It's really important to aim for 5 working days there at month end. And it's not that difficult. There's a lot of closing activities you can already do before month end. Think about payroll, that's typically the 25th of the month, you know the numbers, just already start with the closing. Think about group insurance, other insurances, those are all very simple costs that you can already book before the month end is there actually. Also, set clear deadlines. Okay, I want that last invoice by then, set up a calendar, talk to your team, and also sit down with your accountant and have the difficult conversation that that last 50 euro invoice is not that important. It's because that's a typical thing that accounts really want to have. No, I need all my invoices in, I need all my numbers in. It's not that important. So have the conversation. It won't be easy, but you'll get there. And if you are able to do that, if you are able to close fast, then you really will have better reporting and you will show that you're in control. Then my favorite is the rolling forecast, the rolling cash flow forecast. I'm a very big believer in that, and it's not, I think the most difficult part there is understanding what drives your revenue. And it really depends on your business. Could be seasonality, could be the upsell, could be the flywheel effect that you possibly have. And that typically takes me the longest to really understand what is now driving my revenue, what could be an impact of think about working days, for example. That's all stupid things, but once you get that, it's very easy to make the rolling forecast. That's from the revenue side. You, of course, also have a cost side, unfortunately. And I know with AI it changed a bit, but I guess I'm old school. Typically, 70% of your cost is people cost. And a mistake which is often made is just taking, I'll take the gross salary, do a markup, and poof, I got my cost. But this is the biggest cost that you have. It's 70% of your cost typically is people cost. So I really recommend put time and effort into calculating the cost to the company of each employee that you have in your company. Because there are big differences. If you think about Belgium, you have the company cars, you have the net allowances. In the Netherlands, no company cars, a lot of differences in taxation caps, a lot of differences in about taxation if you're on a permanent contract versus a temporary contract. So just set up that first framework and work together then with the people or the HR team for the planning. Like, who are we going to hire? Who is sick for a longer time? Who's not coming back, what's going on, who's switching to part-time. And if you set that up in a rolling motion, twice a month you update it, then you have a perfect view on your people cost. Then second part, quite often, marketing, of course. We heard a lot of speeches already about marketing. I believe in marketing, so that's a good thing as a CFO, I guess. But also have that conversation with your marketing manager. I'm very happy with Jim at Yuki because we have a good cooperation. Once a month, he does the update of, okay, what I'm going to spend this month, what am I going to spend in the coming months, so you know that what's coming and where the underspend is. Then, of course, the smaller you are, well, cash just gets more important. So just link it into your rolling forecast, and then you have a great view. And I personally believe that a rolling forecast is much more important than a budget, because you already missed or overachieved the budget one day after. You actually print it or send it to the board or whatever. And that's where I think a rolling forecast, which doesn't take that much time to build up, gives much more confidence and makes the budget very easy to work with then. Then number 4, monthly reporting. We all need to do reporting. We all need to do the reporting to the board. I say stick to a limited set of slides that you actually want to use, 5 to 10 on the typical things, commercial, product, people, and finance. Also, make sure that it's out there within 7 working days. I mean, it's already old news, 7 days after month end. Nobody cares about it 1 month after. So do it fast, and that is possible thanks to the monthly closing, which you have also fast. In terms of finance, of course, include the rolling forecast, right? That's why you have it, and also some really key SaaS metrics that you want to have. And then an important point is on who do I report to? So I already said report to the board, of course. I strongly believe in also reporting internally, because it's very important to actually have everyone involved, everyone understanding what is driving my business, what's going well, what's perhaps not going well. That people actually start understanding SaaS metrics, because in the beginning, if you talk about NRR, nobody understands it. So each time repeat what is a build-up of a typical MRR, what is about the NRR, what's driving that. It really increases the involvement of the team and the employees. And if you do it in time, you build trust with your board, with your employees, so that's a key thing. Final thing, the nerve system, the data. I think start early. That's like the biggest lesson I can give. Start early with setting up the data team, like I said in the beginning, on who you need. As soon as you set it up, the better, the less changes are being made all the time. Because that's the thing, that the bigger you get, if you then ask a question, wait, what just happened with my revenue? If you ask it to your data analyst, they will always say, it depends. And that's a terrible answer to get as a CFO, because I just want to know that's what happens. Include a fixed set of dashboards, so always have your fixed set with the KPIs that you discussed on NRR, customer acquisition cost, net new movements, but also product usage, because that's a key thing. All the MRR, that just follows from the usage of the product, because you can boil everything down in terms of churn and contraction to, are people actually using your product and are they happy with it? So keep a good eye on that. And that's where you then get to an organization where you have much more data-driven decisions which are being taken. So to sum up, basically, who you need in the beginning, an account CFO, then start building up your data team as fast as you can, and start building up your data team as fast as you can together with RevOps, and then just bulk up as of the 25 million. What do you need to do? Think about the cash, think about the oxygen of your company, so the billing and collection, think about fast closing. It's not that difficult, but you will have to have that conversation with your accountant on that last €50 invoice. Third is, of course, about the forecasting, the rolling forecast. Big fan of that. Understand the business. Do your calculation per head of how it's actually impacting your cost. And then you have your monthly reporting. Stick to the basics, 5 to 10 slides. Do it internally as well as externally. Get that involvement of the people. And then finally, the data. Simple suggestion. Start early, build the team, get the data in. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Joost. This was fantastic, super practical, very useful. And I can say, I mean, as an investor ourselves, the quality of the data, the up-to-date character of the data is in itself a signal to investors. So I think there's a lot of truth to it. We have time. You've been very much on time. Are there questions to Joost around financials, closing, the role of the CFO, anything he spoke about or anything he has not spoken about? I know we do have a few finance people in the room. Here we go.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Quick question, because your chart where it showed how the finance team should be built up started at above 5, and below 5, it's quite often the case that founders actually, one of the founders gets the ungrateful task of doing finance themselves while they're not finance professionals. Yeah. So what would your advice be to that group?
To the group, have a good friend who knows something about finance, I guess. No, I think, to be honest, that's the reality. Below 5 million, you just do it all yourself. I am a strong believer in paying it forward, so I do advise a lot of startups and scale-ups, which are much smaller. So I would say, yeah, work with an advisory board and use them as a soundboard, because I'm active in a couple of them, and they ping me like, wait, what should I do here? And then you just give some very basic tips and tricks, very down to earth. So that would be my biggest advice. Use an advice board and include the CFO. Yeah.
More questions for Joost? It was so tangible, so practical.
Okay.
This is very good. Thank you. Give him a hand.